Yo, what's going on, ladies and gents? My name is Arbuckle. Welcome back to another video. Today we are once again back on Modern Warfare, and I wanted to share with you guys some tips and tricks for staying alive longer and raising your KD in Modern Warfare. This could actually be a pretty daunting task for this game. It is much more difficult than a lot of the past Call of Duties to stay alive and actually go on significant kill streaks, so hopefully this video will help a lot of you out. So the first two tips are actually pretty basic, but a lot of people don't really take advantage of this, and I'm going to go over them really fast. The first one is to get used to a good sensitivity. I would recommend 4 for an AR and 7 for a submachine gun. If you're a very aggressive player and you like to bum rush spawn and you're good at playing on max sensitivity, good for you. That's awesome. That's great. That's exactly where you need to be. But if you're a player that tends to play on lower sensitivities, 4 for an AR is extremely good. This is average for pro players. Most of them play on low sensitivities anyways when they're playing defensive, which is a very good thing to do. Obviously, it's going to improve your aim significantly. If you're playing on 10 sensitivity with an AR playing back, it's going to be pretty challenging to hit people from a distance, especially if they're moving, unless you have God aim. And then 7 for a submachine gun. If you're just an average player looking to get better, 4 for an AR, 7 for a sub. It's going to make this much easier on yourself. Also, play on tactical layout. If you're still not on tactical layout, you need to get your life together. It's almost 2020. Right thumbstick to drop shot on Xbox. Come on, dude. What are you doing? Get your life together. But anyway, those are the two first tips I wanted to share with you guys. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know those. But so the first real tip that I have for you is to stay out of the middle of the map, especially here on Modern Warfare. As you have noticed, almost every single one of these maps, the buildings in every map have at least 6 different doorways to get in. It is very hectic. There is so much stuff to hide behind, so many different routes to take, and going down the middle of the map is only going to get you screwed over. So make sure that you are playing the perimeter of the map regarding the game mode that you're playing. If you're playing a game like Hardpoint, go around the map to get to the hardpoint. Don't run right down the middle. Obviously, hardpoint objective-based game modes like that aren't, a great example. But if you're playing something like Team Deathmatch, Kill Confirmed, where the spawns are pretty much all over the place, play that outside of the map. Play the perimeter, because the more you get yourself in the middle, the more you're going to have an opportunity to get shot in the back and shot from the sides. And especially with these maps, it's going to be very easy to do that. So make sure you're staying on the outside of the map so that you can keep the enemies contained. The next tip that I have for you guys is to use smoke grenades. Getting to a position first is so important in Modern Warfare, and if you're playing a game mode that I love like Hardpoint or Headquarters, smoke grenades are going to change the game completely, and players don't quite understand. This is something that pro players do all the time, but casuals don't, and I don't understand. For me, I didn't really do it for the longest time either, and always use stun or flash, but smoke is so helpful because it allows you to get position. Cyber attack is one of the best game modes to use smoke in, as well as search and destroy, because obviously it's very important to have good position. And if you use those smokes, especially if you have an entire team that are using smoke grenades, you guys can push up and get incredible position very early on in the game and catch players off guard. So running those smoke grenades, regardless of the game mode you're playing, is going to be very helpful, and you're going to do much better. The next tip that I have for you guys is to use UAV and Ghost. Goodness gracious, Ghost is such an important perk in this game, and I feel like most of you guys that watch my videos probably run Ghost 24/7 anyways, but if you don't, it's a very good perk to use. That way, if you're playing aggressive, maybe you're playing in the spawn, maybe you're playing the objective, you can stay off the radar at all costs and never have to worry about someone knowing where you're at. Maybe you get on a kill streak, maybe you're trying to sneak up behind someone. If they know where you're at on the radar, and people use UAV all the time, it's going to suck for you, and you're going to notice a huge difference when you start using Ghost rather than you were not using Ghost, because you'll find out how easier it is to get up behind people and catch people off guard. Obviously, the footsteps are louder, but using dead silence is something that can counter that to help you sneak up behind people. Also, using the UAV is very important. A lot of people like to run the high kill streaks because they think they can get nukes every single game, but I promise you, it's going to help you level up faster. It's going to help you do better in the game, have the enemy on the radar at all times, and just overall be much better if you're running UAV every single game, especially if you have your entire team running UAV. If everyone on your team, or at least 4 people, are using a UAV, you're pretty much going to have one at all times, which is very nice. But make sure that you're not calling it in at the same time, because that's a really rookie mistake. The next tip that I have for you is camera players that you know are around corners. Now, if you don't know what cameraing means, there's actually an incredible way to win more gunfights in Modern Warfare, and that is to camera people, which is to sprint around corners or jump around corners, which is going to give you the split-second advantage, for they will register on your screen faster than you will register on their screen. If you try this in a game, you will notice this immediately. The first time I tried this in Modern Warfare, I noticed that it was so much easier to get kills on people around corners. So if, let's say, for example, someone's around a corner, you know they're there, even if they're just aiming down sight waiting on you, what you can do is sprint around the corner and jump and start shooting, and literally you'll notice they don't even start shooting at you for a split second after you do that, because you don't register on their screen. And that's called cameraing people, and you're gonna win so many more gunfights. I promise you. I noticed it the first time I tried it out. If you go into a game right now and start doing it, it might seem hard, but if you can get good at sprinting around a corner and jumping, you don't even have to have perfect aim. You're gonna have that advantage because you're not gonna register on their screen, and it's gonna be much easier for you to win gunfights and get position depending on where you're at. So make sure that you are trying to camera people. Last tip is to don't chase players you don't kill. Now, you can use the cameraing method if you want to go after someone you shot at, because obviously if you deal damage, they're going to be weak. You're going to have multiple advantages if you're cameraing and they're low on health. But a lot of people make the mistake of shooting at someone. Maybe they have cover and then they shoot at someone far away, and then they leave their cover to go after that person, and that person just pops up and lights them up because now they have no cover. They're vulnerable because they're running. It's just a mistake overall. So if you're playing, regardless of the game mode, you're playing hardpoint, let's say you're playing search, if you shoot at someone, you get hit markers and they run away, the best thing to do is to wait, because there's a good chance they're going to come right back out in the same exact spot, because most Call of Duty players do that, and it'll be very, very easy to get that kill. Don't stress about it. Don't freak out. Don't be sad that you didn't get the kill. Don't give your cover up. Don't give yourself up to go running after them, because there's a good chance they're either going to be waiting for you or they're going to come right back around the corner. So don't chase people that you get hit markers on. Those are the tips that I wanted to share with you guys in this video. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll be sure and try to help some of you guys out. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see all you guys in the next video.